I mean, are you excited by the idea that it's Black Friday? Are you? You love a gadget. You love a bargain,
I do love a gadget, but the thing is, there's been more going on already. It's been like Black Friday on Amazon for a week. So anyway, it is apparently the official day to start your Christmas shopping.
Who says?
Well, yes.
The shops.
The shops say. Because they're all promoting their latest sales and discounts.
Yeah. And whilst there may be many genuine deals out there, experts predict, due to the cost of living crisis, bargain hunters may be less keen to make a purchase.
Well, our economics and business editor, Liam Halligan, has been to Chelmsford in Essex talking to market sellers in the latest edition of Save Our High Street.
Chelmsford in Essex, an ancient city now home to many who quit London's East End. With its bustling high street and much-loved market, Chelmsford is a good place to gauge consumer confidence and the broader state of the economy following the Chancellor's autumn statement. Today's Black Friday, a day of discounts marking the start of the Christmas shopping season. But the latest survey data points to low consumer confidence.
This is your leather handbag section.
Market trader Alan O'Brien says his business has yet to fully recover from lockdown, but he's keeping his fingers crossed for Christmas.
I don't think it's going to be a brilliant Christmas, but what I've noticed, I think people are determined to have a good Christmas. People are starting shopping that bit earlier, and you hear people putting the Christmas decorations up.
We need a bit of cheering up.
And that's what people are doing.
Alan says many shoppers, especially the elderly, come to the city centre less because parking's expensive and relies on fiddly phone apps.
No, they might not be able to do it every day, but one certain days, if it's a quieter day in the town, do free parking.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Sue's been selling plants and flowers from this market for almost 40 years. Lockdown almost destroyed her business, but this year things have been looking up.
And then when things came back to normal more, we were allowed to open, but a lot of the shops were closed. So you didn't have a footfall. So for about 3 years, we really sort of struggled. But it's getting back to, this year's been a better year.
After 14 interest rate rises, the cost of living crisis is ongoing. But Sue says plants and flowers are a source of relatively low-cost pleasure.
I'd say it's held up relatively well because plants are fairly cheap. So people can always £2.50 for £5 these. You can find that. It's not as if you're buying the big heavy goods.
It's a cheap bit of happiness, isn't it?
Yeah.
And despite headline tax cuts in the autumn statement, there are many who feel the government could do more.
Obviously taxes are high. Everything's high. You know, it's if I knew all the answers, I'd been number 10, wouldn't I? Probably doing a better job than what he is. But, you know, it's any help we can get is going to help a small business.
Liam Halligan, GB News, Chelmsford.
It's making me feel guilty for not being out there shopping already.
Buying the Christmas tree tomorrow.
I want to buy a new Christmas tree this year. Yeah, they get quite expensive.
They do.
I've got a real one outside that's potted. So I've got a real one. So I thought for inside, maybe a false one.
Well, this weekend might be the weekend to do it. There might be a bargain on.
Well, I doubt with Christmas trees. I mean, this is their moment to sell, isn't it? So I should have bought at the end of Christmas, last Christmas, shouldn't I, really?
Anyway, let's see what retail expert Lucy Davies makes of all this Black Friday goodness.
Is it nonsense? Black Friday?
Not at all, no. It's still very much a thing. And so we run a customer loyalty index. So we researched 2,000 people in the UK. It's called the SAP or Masters Customer Loyalty Index. And we've found that actually people are planning on buying their Christmas presents this year far more than any previous years. So last year it was 10% of us were doing their Christmas shopping early. This year it's actually leapt to 30%. So while we are going to be spending less this year, in fact people are planning to spend about half of what they spent last year, so a big drop. The volumes are still up. A lot of people are still going to take part, but they're just going to be more careful with what they spend and what they spend it on.
But I read something in one of the newspapers. I mean, I know that everybody's got a view.
Yeah.
That, you think you're making a Black Friday purchase and you think that the price has been slashed. But actually, if you'd gone out and bought the same thing about 4 or 5 months ago, the price would probably have been the same. In other words, prices have been artificially rising so that they can suddenly slash them on Black Friday. Is that true?
It is true. There are definitely some retailers who are guilty of that, and it's really up to the individual to do your own research. And there are some websites that you can look at that track all the prices, so that's a sensible thing to do. Personally, I like to actually go into stores, and I know some people are planning on buying quite big ticket items, like if you're going to buy a new washing machine or something, it's a great time to wait to Black Fridays to do that. So just to pop into your local store and keep an eye on the price and make sure that they haven't put their prices up. So yeah, it's really just to do your research.
How does it work though for these companies, in the sense that they're going to shift more volumes if the prices are lower, but it's all about the profit margin? How are they making enough money to keep going, especially those retailers who rely on the Christmas season to sort of bolster up the rest of the year?
It's all about really getting to know the customer. So we've found that we call it incentivized loyalty. So Black Friday is when everyone's looking for deals, and that's incentivized loyalty. But it's really dropped this year. And actually that's because, of course, you can get a customer to come through the door because you've got low prices, but you have to do more as a retailer to keep those customers coming back. And now's the time to really impress new or existing customers with things other than discounts and deals. So, for example, you can give them really, really excellent customer service. You can do a really smooth return process. So every single thing to do with that customer experience when they're shopping has to be absolutely spot on, or that customer will go elsewhere. So it's now the chance that the retailers have to really keep their customers loyal for ahead for 2024.
When did Black Friday start? It's not that long ago, is it?
It's
Did it come from America?
Yes, it did. It came from America. I think it was in the 1950s. It was quite a long time ago. So it's been a really long-standing event in the US. And I think from memory, I only remember it in the UK from the last sort of 10 years or so. And it's become, I think it became bigger and bigger over the first few years, and it doesn't seem like such a huge event now, but we shall see. Well, today's the day.
Well, if you're doing any Black Friday shopping,
let us know what you're after.
Do.
Yeah.
Really good to see this one, Lucy. Thanks very much
you.
indeed.